It comes down to pattern recognition.
Yes.
So for logic games, there are many games like that balls game, where you have different potential distributions of possibilities. And so if you see the game on the meta level with the categories, the individual variables, and the different arrangements you can have, when you see a new game like that one, you can automatically relate it back to previous similar games you've done, so that you're not actually doing the game entirely from scratch as if it's for the first time.
Right.
And the same also applies to, for example, logical reasoning, where if you can recognize the pattern of reasoning they're using, the way they're going about making their argument, and you recognize that method of argumentation, then it will really just be an old framework with a new topic inserted. So you can solve it that much more quickly, and it's already familiar to you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What are the best techniques? Is it just practice, practice, practice?
a lot of that is exposure. It's exposure. And then for any argument or any game that you have trouble with, really taking the time to slow down and review it in depth so that you thoroughly understand it. And the benefit then is that when you encounter a new similar game or a new similar argument, you'll be able to get it more quickly, and you'll have the comfort of the familiarity, and you won't fall for whatever traps they insert into that game or that argument.
And like, for example, there was the question 20. When I see a question like that, how do I break this down? Like, what are they really? What are you asking?
Yeah, I hear what you mean. You've really got to slow down and take the time on a question like that. They word it in a formal and roundabout way.
Very convoluted, absolutely convoluted. And what are they asking? How do you dice that, slice and dice it, and then move forward?
Yeah, sure. So I would go, first of all, if you're not making heads or tails of it, I would skip it, come back to it later. There's no reason that you have to do the questions in a given game in the particular order in which they're presented.
Okay.
And then when we actually look at this, we can try to see if we can reframe it another way that's perhaps more palatable. So they're saying basically, which one is a duplicate? Is how I would understand that. Which one is a duplicate? Which one has another spot that is identical in color? Something like that.
Right.
It's just practice and exposure. That's all.
Okay.
To kind of translate it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay. And I know, like, in your explanations, you did say you passed that one and you went on to the others, 21 to 23, and then we came back to 20, which made a lot more sense because we had so many different versions of diagrams that made this just come alive.
Exactly, because then, and that's my impulse here as well, because it's so vague, it's so general. But if you have more hypotheticals at your disposal in your library, then when they're asking you, first you parse 20, you see they're just asking for which one's a duplicate. Then you see, okay, well, when have I ever had other duplicates in the past? So you can have a bird's eye view of all the possibilities you've ever drawn. And then you just scan through them looking for duplicates.
Okay, cool. And if you see me moving, it's because I'm literally writing what you're telling me. And that just kind of makes sense. I know there was the other one that the substitution questions, like if you had to substitute, I think I've got that down, but I just want to be clear. You see those substitution questions, they're basically asking you, if you substituted this rule for this new nuance, would the results be the same as in the original, all the other rules taking its course, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. That to me is, at this point, that's like the biggest hurdle. Understanding the language and staying true to the main task, which is inferences, making those logical inferences. Am I right?
Yeah, that really is it. I mean, making more inferences up front, and then maximizing your reuse of previously drawn scenarios, as we discussed for number 20, for example.
Right.
Yeah, and by the way, for the rule substitution questions, I have a whole workshop specifically on those. I'll send you the link.
Oh, appreciate
just that there's no remaining or lingering concern about that type.
Okay,
because that does come up pretty consistently. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.